Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing my VCT America's Playoff Pickems. Going to go through every game in this bracket, predict who I think is going to win, and kind of explain a little bit why. Maybe some of the games will be a little bit fast, but I'll definitely go in depth on these like first round games with the Sen C9 and MIBR 100 Thieves. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe. Really helps me out. As well as go check out my Twitter, where I do like weekly player rankings. I'll probably be updating them after Toronto at this point um for like the Americas and Pacific teams, but I do have one more EMEA week coming out for pre-playoffs after this week of EMEA, so go check that out. As well as on Twitter, I will probably be doing updated predictions for the bracket here. So like say I get like one of these first round games wrong, I would then predict the upper semifinals games and stuff like that. I might just post them anyways, even if they are the same as what I had before. So you can go check that out as well if you're interested in that. And yeah, let's get right into it. So we'll start with MIBR 100 Thieves. I think this is pretty easy. I'm going to pick MIBR. There's part of me that wants to go 100 Thieves, but last year during stage 1, it was allowed 100 Thieves, and I was pretty sure I wanted to go 100 Thieves, but I went loud instead to Jinx 100 Thieves. So they ended up making it to Shanghai. So I'm going to do that again. Then Sen C9. Like I don't honestly with this game, there's not much analysis needed. I would assume that like 80% of people would go MIBR at least, and then maybe the other 20% would be believers / fans of 100 Thieves. Then Sen C9. This is a little bit difficult because if you're just rating these teams of how they did during the regular season, I would pick C9 like pretty easily. Not that Sen was like so much worse. I think they were like a similar caliber team to C9. I had them over them in the power rankings just because I think they have more potential as a team. And I would also rate them higher in a game in a playoff setting like this. So I am actually going to pick Sentinels in this game over Cloud9. Then we'll start with the upper bracket. Because I think both these games are pretty easy. I'm going to pick MIBR over Crew. I just think they're overall the better team. Like I think they're very similar styles. It's kind of like Lev versus Crew last year, where like they play relatively similar. They both play really basic comps. They have that one really good like jet player that can play some other stuff here and there. But overall, I think MIBR is just better across the board, and I'm going to pick them against Crew here. Then I have G2 over Sen. Not really going to need to explain why I'm picking G2. They're just the better team and the best team in Americas, and I'm also going to take them in the upper final. Then for the lower bracket here, or I guess I might need to elaborate a little bit more on this. I just think I'm just going to pick G2 in every game and just assume that I am going to get it right. Like, I think that's just the safest picks for every single game is just to pick G2 to make it to the finals and win. But I think the rest of this bracket could be a little bit interesting. Then, now into the lower bracket now, where I'm just going to pick C9 over EG. That's pretty easy for me. I just don't think EG is very good. Then, 100 Thieves NRG. I think this game actually will be pretty close. 100 Thieves who... I wouldn't say they have a choking problem, but it's kind of like when there's pressure, this team can fall apart very easily. And NRG, I think they stepped up to the pressure this week against Lev in what was essentially an elimination game. So, and I do think they actually looked pretty nice against Lev. So I am going to pick NRG here. Now, maybe 20% of this pick is the fact that I'm jinxing 100 Thieves again, predicting them to go out in 2 games, I guess, this time. Last time it was 1 game, but like immediately eliminated again. But I do my mic DC'd, whatever. Where was I? I do think that this is very, very possible with NRG winning this game. Now, do I think they're going to go much further? No, I'm going to have Sen beating them immediately. This is pretty much what happened at kickoff. NRG lose. I guess they were immediately down here, but then they beat 100 Thieves, then lose to just what was a better team in Crew. Then I'm going to have Crew beating C9. Am I going to have Crew beating C9? No, I'm going to have C9 winning that game. I think C9's done better across the whole group stage. This game is close, though, and you see, when I did this, like, before, I had C9 winning, but I kind of want to go Crew now, because I do think Kesnet's... no. Like, I would have Oxy over... Like, if I'm just fully comparing the two rosters, right? I'd have Oxy over Kesnet ever so slightly, but Oxy over Kesnet. Kesnet has been better in these playoff scenarios before, though, which is why maybe I'd go Crew a little bit as well. Then their initiator IGLs, I'd take Mitch at this point. Then Zeppa versus Mazzino, I believe I would take Mazzino pretty easily, even though Zeppa's been pretty good this stage. Melzer versus Vic, I'd take Vic, and then Net versus Shy, I'd take Shy. So it's so close. I'm going to take C9. I would feel like I'm going to get this game wrong. This is a game that I would probably change my pick for depending on how C9/Crew look. But also Crew's coming off a loss. And I really don't think this team's going to make an international event because they just don't do it when they need to outside of going to champs. So I'm not going to predict them here to beat C9. Now, I'm going to immediately have either team losing to Sentinels in the next game anyways, so does it really matter who wins that game? Not really. But I'm also going to take MIBR over Sentinels this time in the lower final that Sentinels ended up winning last time to make it to Bangkok. And then I'm going to take G2 in the grand final. So if you look at those top three, it's pretty bedge, I think. Pretty, like, normal picks. Like, nobody's going to really complain about G2, MIBR, Sen being my top three. Obviously, some people are going to want Crew. Some people are going to want Cloud9 in there. I don't think anybody's really going to be clamoring for 100 Thieves, EG, or NRG. But I do think it is possible that maybe 100 Thieves or NRG could go on a run and make it to that lower final and make it to Toronto. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, as well as go subscribe, like, everything like that. Also go check out my Twitter, all that stuff that I talked about in the intro. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.